What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Eat your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great night so far. Happy Tuesday. We're on Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Before we get started, giant shout out to Jedi, Tharina, Sparkle Poots, Sly. Thank you so much for covering for me for Members Monday last night. I do appreciate it. You guys did an awesome job, and I am so grateful that I have mods that could just slide in and take over. Like, you guys are awesome. My mods are absolutely amazing. I know Sparkle Poots isn't a mod. I've asked her. She said no every time. Hopefully she's here and she heard that. Anyways, thank you so much. You guys rocked it last night, so thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, the Bengals failed miserably, so I would have rather be here. Like, that game wasn't worth taking the night off, but you know what? It's the Bengals. It's my thing. So yeah. Anyways, you guys want to watch some court? I want to watch some court. Let's watch some court. I have got a case from last week. I told you guys about this case last week. We've got Amish sovereign citizens. This is in Judge Middleton's courtroom. I tried to take this down from, it's almost a 3-hour court case. I tried to take it down as much as I could. Yeah, I got it down to about 2 hours. So we're gonna do this tonight and tomorrow night. So this is gonna be part 1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It's a fun one, but yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I really need to say. We're in Judge Middleton's courtroom. Yeah, that's it. Jay, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate it. You are awesome. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Yeah, you guys ready? Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go. Yeah, don't worry. We're not going to go for 2 hours tonight. I am not going to go for 2 hours tonight, but the entire hearing ends up being, after I cut it down, it ended up being a little over 2 hours. So we're going to do half tonight, half tomorrow. So yeah, Amish sovereign citizens. This one's fun. Let's go. You guys are awesome. Before I hit that, I already said that. Let's just go.
Good morning. This is the time and date for a hearing regarding a show cause regarding a alleged violation of an order from Judge Stutzman. And the matter is set for this morning. There are 2 files. I believe the one we're actually in, Mr. Thornton, is 25040CZ, the first case.
That's correct, but I scheduled a hearing and noticed a hearing on the default judgment in 533 also.
Yes, that was scheduled for today because we're all going to be here, and so that is the other case. Both are entitled Colon Township versus Alfred and Joanne Yoder. Are you Alfred Yoder?
Yes, sir.
And you're Joanne Yoder?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lance Thornton is here on behalf of Colon Township. Before we begin, just a couple of matters. This matter was assigned to me after disqualification by Judge Stutzman, the circuit court judge. Some of the rulings that are at issue today have already been decided by another judge. The question is the compliance with that judge's order. So now I'm the judge that's hearing it. The township moved to disqualify me. I denied that motion, and so we're all here. Just as another aside, the matter is a public courtroom and people are welcome to be here. But you have to abide by the rules of decorum, and even if you don't respect me, you have to respect the process. So apparently Judge Stutzman had this same issue, but when I went to leave the courtroom, the bailiff called for all the people to rise and everyone rose but one person. That's Mr. Andrew Brandt. So I asked the bailiff to remove him. He says he obeys the law of God, not necessarily the court. And I guess I respect that, but he can do it somewhere else. He isn't going to rise in respect for the court. He's not welcome to be in here. So he can certainly watch the matter on the live stream. But I asked the bailiff to remove him, and apparently he agreed to that. I think the same issue arose in circuit court. All right. I had recommended not I had recommended sincerely that the defendants get counsel in this matter. They don't have to. There are some complicated issues here. There are some consequences of the findings. And it's my understanding, Mr. Yoder, that you don't wish to have an attorney here at this proceeding and you wish to represent yourself.
We're currently getting advice and guidance, but we do not have a formal attorney representing us in the court at this time.
All right, Ms. Yoder, you concur with that? All right, and my concern was, I don't think the advice and guidance you were getting was very good advice or guidance. You're of your own free will and you can make those decisions. All right, as
Your Honor,
yes,
before the court proceeds to contempt, we respectfully challenge jurisdiction. Jurisdiction must be proven on record first.
all right, your objection to challenge jurisdiction is denied. The court has jurisdiction. You reside in the state of Michigan. I reside in the state of Michigan. I'm duly elected by the electors of St. Joseph County, and I serve under the leadership of the Michigan Supreme Court. This is a constitutionally and statutorily created court. You're residents of Colon Township. Colon Township is the plaintiff in this matter. You're the defendant, and the court has jurisdiction. So that motion is denied. Anything else you want to say before we begin?
Yeah, Your Honor, we respectfully note our objection for the record and reserve all rights to appeal.
That's appropriate. And I'll note any objections you have to the ruling I just made or any other rulings. And you do have a right to appeal. The appeal from this level would be to the Michigan Court of Appeals. So I respect that. Mr. Thorne, do you wish to set out our roadmap here for this morning?
Yes, one of my first questions, Your Honor, was which matter do we want to start with?
The simpler one is the entry of the default, but let's start with a more difficult one, the contempt issue. That was what was originally set for today. Do you wish to speak to that?
Sure, Your Honor. If the court is ready, I would ready to call my first evidentiary witness.
All right, why don't you make a brief opening statement to just lay it out for everyone that's here.
Okay, we find ourselves here this morning. Procedural history of this case was essentially there was a show cause hearing scheduled before Judge Stutzman in circuit court. I don't have the exact date of that, but the Mr. and Mrs. Yoder failed to appear for that show cause hearing after having been ordered to do so by the circuit court. Then we had another unscheduled hearing when the Yoders appeared at the court on a different matter. And I participated by Zoom, where it's my understanding that
Yeah, when I was there, so last November, when I was there in person, Judge Middleton told me to go to Yoder's. I think I don't remember what kind of place it was. I feel like it was an ice cream place. Maybe it was a breakfast. I don't remember, but he told me to go there. I wonder if they're related. Yoder seems like a name that you would remember, and well, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I wonder if they're related to the shop that he was trying to get me to go to. I don't know why I just thought about that now. Okay, let's go. Are you going to try to go before he retires? Oh, absolutely. I'll absolutely be there before he retires. I've got a year. He's got till the end of 2026. So, yeah, I will absolutely be there before he retires.
essentially the Yoders were arraigned on the civil contempt charge. And this hearing today was scheduled at that hearing to address the actual evidentiary hearing to determine whether the Yoders are in contempt, civil contempt of the court's default judgment and permanent injunction that entered in this matter on March 13 of 2025.
In civil contempt, you don't necessarily have a right to have an attorney to represent you. You certainly can hire one. There's not incarceration possible as a punishment for civil contempt. There is a fine of up to $7,500 and other equitable relief, meaning the court can order that certain things happen. But if you're found in contempt, you're not subject to incarceration, at least not for this hearing. And the burden of proof is lower in civil contempt than it is in criminal contempt. It's a burden of preponderance of evidence. But essentially, the allegation is the judge ordered back in March that you not do certain things and that you continue to do them. So the township filed an order to show cause. You didn't appear for the show cause. There was a bench warrant. You came in and we took care of the bench warrants. And now you're here so we can proceed. All right. Thank you. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The township may call their first witness.
That I would call Joanne Yoder, Your Honor.
Ms. Yoder, would you come up into the witness box? In civil contempt, you do not have a right to not testify. If you're charged in a criminal case, you have an absolute right not to testify. In a civil case, you don't have that right, and you're subject to being called by the opposing party. So Ms. Yoder, would you come up here in the witness box, and then we'll see how we can proceed. Good morning. Would you state your name?
Sure.
All right, have a seat if you would. I know that Amish don't like to swear out an oath, so would you be willing to affirm that any testimony you will give here today will be truthful to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Under God, I testify.
All right, do you hereby affirm, not swear an oath, but affirm that any testimony you give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, sir.
All right. Affirm. All right, Mr. Thornton, you may inquire.
Mrs. Yoder, if you could try to speak up so that the proceedings are being recorded and so that I can also hear and everyone in the courtroom can hear your responses. Okay. The, Mrs. Yoder, where do you live? Where's your residence?
Yes?
I do have a problem with my mind does not work in groups of people. Is sometimes coming up with answers and to respond. So please excuse me if I cannot. speak.
All right, well, let's see what we can do. Do you live in Colon Township?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you live on Marsh Road?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the number of the house?
30158. Actually, I have two addresses that I get lumps to.
All right,
30100 and 30158.
30100.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And it's no fun to sit in a witness box. I've done it myself. I've had little small children in the witness box. But let's just try to do the best we can here.
In following up, Mrs. Yoder, with the two addresses you've confirmed on Marsh Road, the 30158 Marsh Road, is that your home that you actually reside in?
Yes.
And then the 30100 Marsh Road, that is a second structure on the same parcel as your home, is that correct?
Yes, Your
And that was built as a home, is that correct? That second structure?
Honor. Yes.
And those two, your home that you reside in and this second structure are on the same parcel of property, is that correct?
Repeat.
The two homes are on the same tax parcel? And you operate a birthing center in that second structure, is that correct?
No.
What happens in that second structure? Is it empty? Is it occupied? Who occupies it? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's a private ministry.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by private ministry?
That's what we have as a private ministry.
Are there births occurring in that home?
It's a private ministry.
That's not my question. I'm asking you, do pregnant women give births in that second structure on that parcel?
My understanding, it doesn't matter what we do in our ministry.
Well, that may be your opinion. We'll determine that. Right now, we're just trying to establish what happens. And so you are required to answer the question.
That is part of it. But it's a private ministry.
So it would be accurate to say that the structure is used.
Hey, what's going on, Rob? How are you doing today? I feel like I heard your voice somewhere recently. Not exactly sure where, but I feel like I've heard it. So keep up the good work.
Partly for pregnant women to reside there temporarily and give birth
Yes,
with the assistance of a midwife.
yes.
And this this birthing, the use of that structure for births, did you used to call that Mama's House Birth Center?
No, sir.
You never called it that?
No.
Did you have a name for it? Or do you have a name for it?
We do now, or we did have
Okay, what's the name now?
Mama's House Ministry,
Okay. Was there a prior name?
Mama's House Birthing Center.
Okay. When did that change?
February 6th, when you had received all the documents of the change.
I missed it, February,
February 6th, 2025.
Okay.
And you received all that. We had given you the documents on that. That was recorded here at the courthouse.
my understanding you had a DBA. Is that correct? Doing business as name?
Yes,
Okay. And so if I'm correct, it used to be before February 6, 2025, Mama's House Birthing Center.
yes,
And then after February 6, 2025, you changed the name to Mama's House Ministry.
yes,
Has the important date here on my next few questions is going to be March 13 of this year, March 13 of 2025.
Clip clop, this is a zoning hearing actually. The town is going after this couple for running a I don't know how to explain what they're running, but they're essentially a makeshift hospital. They're birthing children at this, this I don't know what to call it. I really don't, but it's a zoning violation because they're conducting medical exercises in a place that's not zoned for that. So that's why they're here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They're soft sits. They're also Amish. So it's a weird case. Midwifery. Yeah, there we go. A midwifery. That's a good word for it.
Because that is the date that the default judgment and permanent injunction entered by the court. So let me start there. You did receive a copy of the default judgment and permanent injunction, correct?
I think so.
And after that default judgment and permanent injunction entered on March 13, 2025, did you continue to allow pregnant women to temporarily reside at the 30100 Marsh Road for the purpose of giving birth to their child?
Yes,
Oh, they're soft sits. They challenge jurisdiction. You know what? Hold on, let me read this question. Are they soft sits, or is their Amish beliefs not wanting to conform to the English ways or whatever? Just wait. They say a lot of things right out of the soft sit script, but you know what? That's a fair question. I don't know. Maybe they're not soft sits. Maybe they're just anti old school English. I don't know.
yeah.
Approximately how many births occur there in a week's time?
It varies.
What does it vary from? What would be the low? What would be the high?
What is the necessity of this?
Well, I'm interested too. I don't know if they're having one birth a month or 6 births a week. So I'm trying to get a sense of it. Bear in mind, I didn't start this case. Judge Stutzman's heard some things that I have not. So I'd like to know the answer to that myself.
Probably approximately between like 4 or 5 per week.
as an average. Would that be the case prior to March 13 of 2025?
Probably.
And would that be the case after March 13 of 2025?
Probably. Your Honor,
Yes,
may I speak for this before we go further?
well, yes, what would you
So-
like to say?
The first court hearing, what he's talking about was all about Mama's House Burden Center. And there was, I've got proof here where that was all dissolved.
And so now it's Mama's House Ministry?
So that court hearing, what, everything that we run through was all in default because there was no such thing.
I'll make a note of that.
I may briefly respond, Your Honor.
Yes,
As part of this case, it's not the DBA that's the defendant, and it wouldn't be the DBA that would be the defendant. It's actually Alfred E. Yoder and Joanne Yoder individually as owners of the property that were made the defendants of this case and that were ordered not to allow the birthing center to continue on the property. So yeah, I guess it's the township's position that the change of DBA is irrelevant.
all right.
Your Honor, then the next thing also. So we received paperwork on the hearing, and in that paperwork, there's nowhere that it gave us to shut down. It says as soon as convenient, and that's not an appropriate time, because it was never convenient.
All right, well, we'll explore that.
So the births that have occurred and are still occurring out there after March 13, 2025, a midwife assists with those births. Is that correct? You have to verbalize your answer.
Yes,
Are some of the women giving birth there on the property we're talking about after March 13, 2025? Are some of them unrelated to you?
yes. They're part of our ministry.
But they're not a blood relative or a relative by marriage.
Some not.
Some are, some aren't.
Yes.
After March 13, 2025, are you charging the pregnant women that have birth there any fees for being allowed to use your property?
They donate.
Yes, I am still in Canada. I'll be here until the end of October. I'm gonna be here through Thanksgiving, at least here, which is in 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, I think it's in 2 weeks, and then I'll be here another week after that. So I will be back home at the end of October. So yeah, 3+ weeks still up here in the north.
They donate.
Some pay, some don't.
Do you have a established donation or a suggested donation?
Suggested.
Okay, what is that?
It's according to how much, I guess how long we stay.
Kind of based on length of stay.
So,
So is it like a room rental fee?
yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any other fees or suggested donations for the pregnant women that come there to have birth? Such as maybe for meals or things like that?
No,
I will actually say, funny girl, that every time with Heather is the most beautiful time of the year. Bam. Yes, did it. Yeah, I know. I just got cringe. You guys you guys just have to accept it. But yeah, no, it is gorgeous up here. It really is. The weather is perfect. It's so nice.
That's included in the other donation you testified about.
No, money for food.
I didn't catch that.
There's no money for food.
Okay. So the room rental, you do accept.
Yes,
When there is a
I mean, yeah. Uh I mean, I don't know. I crossed the border. I told him who I was, how long I'd be here, and I'm going home at the end of October. I mean, I don't really know what to say to that. I Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question, Clip Club. I really don't. They know I'm here. I can stay here for 6 months out of a year, and I'm gonna be here for 2 of those. So that's all I got. I don't really know what else to say. I'm not hiding anything.
birth there, and again, I just want to concentrate now on after March 13, 2025. When there is a birth there, are you required to do any reporting as the owner of the property?
no,
So you're not required to report that a birth has occurred.
they have to have their documents for a birth certificate, that's all.
Okay, and that's what I'm referring to. So who prepares the documents that are necessary when a birth occurs on your property?
Midwives,
Do you have anything to do with that?
I have a midwife.
Okay, so would it be accurate to say you prepare some of those reports?
Yes, I do prepare some of the reports.
Okay, and where do those, and these are reports of the mother's name? Is that correct?
Yes,
The name given to the child,
yes.
the date of the birth, is that accurate?
Just to fill out a birth worksheet.
Okay, so anything on that worksheet, you fill out or another midwife fills out, correct?
Yes,
Where do those reports then go?
Here.
Here, meaning to the courthouse?
yes,
Would it be accurate to say they go to the county clerk's office here at the courthouse?
yes.
And how often do you make those reports?
Just whenever we have a birth,
Within hours or days, how often after you have a birth do you make that report and submit it?
we aim to have it done within 5 days.
You deliver those reports to the courthouse by hand, in person, or do you mail them to the courthouse, or is it a combination?
Both.
Both? If I were to indicate that there's been approximately 87 births on your property that we've been discussing here, that has the 2 common addresses of 30158 and 30100 Marsh Road. If I were to say that there's been approximately 87 births since March 13 of 2025, Would you think that would be roughly accurate?
I have no idea.
Does it sound way too low, way too high?
Guess I don't keep track. I don't know.
Can you tell the court why you are continuing to allow pregnant women to temporarily reside on your property and give birth to children in contradiction to the default judgment that entered in this case?
Well, number one thing, because the first court hearing was not appropriate. And number two, Section 28, I've got the Michigan Constitution. I know you don't like it, you threw it in the trash. Section 28, right to productive freedom. Section 20, every individual has a fundamental right to reproductive freedom, which essentials the right to make and effectuate decisions about all matters relating to pregnancy, including but not limited to prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion care, miscarriage management, and infertility care. An individual's right to reproductive freedom shall not be denied, burdened, or infringed upon unless justified by compelling state interest achieved by the least restrictive means. Notwithstanding the above, the state may regulate the provision of abortion care after fetal viability, and provided that in no circumstances shall the state prohibit an abortion that in the professional judgment of an attending health care professional is medically indicated to protect the life or physical or mental health of a pregnant individual. The state shall not discriminate in the protection or enforcement of this fundamental right. The state shall not penalize, persecute, or otherwise take adverse action against an individual based on their actual potential perceived or alleged pregnancy outcomes, including but not limited to miscarriage, stillborn, a birth, or abortion, nor shall the state penalize, prosecute, or otherwise take adverse action against someone for aiding or assisting a pregnant individual in exercising their right to reproductive freedom with their voluntary consent. For the purposes of this section, a state interest in compelling only if it is for the limited purpose of protecting the health of an individual seeking care, consistent with accepted clinical standards of practice and evidence-based medicine, and does not infringe on the individual's animus decision-making. Fetal viability means the point in pregnancy when, in the professional judgment of an attending health care professional and based on the particular facts of the case, there is a significant likelihood of the fetus sustained survival outside the uterus without the application of extraordinary medical measures. This section shall be self-executing, not provision of this section held invalid shall be servable from the remaining portion of this section.
The,
Michigan State Constitution.
and just to clarify, Mrs. Yoder, it's not that I don't like the Michigan Constitution or the US Constitution. I have a ton of respect for both. I just don't need to be provided a copy. I have copies of both and access to them, so.
That
The,
is very appropriate.
So if, I want to read you paragraph 3 of the default judgment. The defendants and their agents, servants, assigns, and successors in interest, and or anyone in active concert or participation with the Yoders with regard to the operation of the birthing center are permanently enjoined from operating a birthing center on the Yoder property. Do you feel you're violating that paragraph of the order by continuing to allow pregnant women to come there and have births?
No, I do not.
Has anything changed?
Let me stop you for a moment.
Okay,
Paragraph 2 precedes paragraph 3, but she brought this up. Paragraph 2 states, Colon Township's request for injunctive relief is granted, and the defendants shall cease operation of the birthing center on the Yoder property as soon as reasonably possible. I think that had to do with perhaps you had clients that were in the process and you didn't want to immediately close it to leave some of those women with no prenatal care and no option for birthing except as emergency basis. Well, that was March. It's now September. And what you stated earlier is it isn't reasonably possible or won't be. Is that part of your argument too, that it isn't as soon as reasonably possible as of March 13th? How do you interpret that? And bear in mind, this is before I got here. Judge Stutzman ordered, stop doing this. The request for injunctive relief is granted, meaning no more operation of a birthing center on that property. And you're to stop as soon as reasonably possible. And paragraph 3 makes that injunction permanent from operating a birthing center on that property. So there may be some interpretation about what is reasonably, as soon as reasonably possible. I'm sure it's somewhere between March 13th and September 24th. Do you know when the last child was born there? How recently did you have a birth?
Your Honor, we made an agreement and I followed the 10 Commandments.
Has there been a birth there in the month of September?
Because I don't remember the date that we was here. We made an agreement.
Agreement with God or with who?
To not have a birth there
All
until
right.
today.
Okay, so you don't right now know when the last birth was?
No, I did not.
Was it within the last 2 weeks?
Or whatever it was that we was here, that we made an agreement. that date was.
I'm not sure which date that is.
I think she was talking about the date of the unscheduled hearing
Okay, when they.
when they were here at the courthouse and Your Honor
And
contacted
that
me.
was August 29th. So you're saying there haven't been any births since August 29th?
Not there at that address.
Okay.
Just to follow up on Your Honor's questions. How long is the normal stay of a pregnant woman that comes there to have a child?
Not more than 3 days.
And how long before they actually come there do they normally contact you and make arrangements to stay?
Well, that can vary on how you are, what you're after as far as when they realize they're pregnant or when they're in labor. That can be 9 months, or are you considering on when they start labor?
I'm trying to get at, when do you schedule them to be at your property to give birth? How far in advance?
Well, they usually schedule with us like 8 months ahead, a lot of them. 7 or 8 months ahead, but as far as when they're coming in, you can't do and decide on that until they're starting to have signs, labor signs.
Until they would begin labor. Correct.
Yes,
All right, so when they find out they're pregnant, they'll make contact with you to get in connection with your agency or ministry, we'll call it.
actually, they don't contact me unless they're my patient. They contact the midwife, and the midwife lets them know.
All right, and then as you get closer to the date of birth, that's when they would come in.
Yes,
Sometimes you might not know till that day when they show up. Is that true?
yes.
All right.
Did anything change other than the name, your DBA name? And I'm talking, did anything change in the operation that you had there as far as the pregnant women coming to give birth? Did anything change after you changed the name to Mama's Ministry?
Yes, we have a donation, and also they sign an agreement to be a part of the ministry.
Prior to the name change, you were actually charging, not a donation, but an actual charge. Is that correct?
Yes,
So after you changed the name, then you started accepting donations, if I'm understanding. I didn't catch that.
yes.
Do most women that use your property to give birth make a donation?
Most average.
What, is there an average amount that they donate?
Probably on the average 400.
For their stay there?
Yes.
I'm going to take a few moments here, Your Honor, and see if I can locate the date of the show cause hearing in front of Judge Stutzman.
Let's see if I got it.
I've got it.
All right.
In this case, Mrs. Yoder, we had a show cause hearing scheduled for July 2nd of this year at 9 a.m. And it was scheduled in the courtroom above us here in the same courthouse. Do you agree with that?
Said July 2nd.
Yes. The court had ordered you to appear to show cause why you should not be held in contempt.
Trying to think, because there was one of them that we made a mistake by not reading everything and found that after the court hearing, there wasn't even anything in my name. It was under, there was two forms we received. One was for Alfred F. Yoder and one was for Alfred E. Yoder, nothing for me.
Are you saying you weren't aware of the hearing?
I was aware of it afterward, but we did file special appearance forms. We had all of our information on there. You received it, you know. And the judge did too. There were special appearance forms here for you guys.
Are you saying you contacted the court and say, hey, I missed my show cause hearing, I need to reschedule? Is that what you're saying?
You have the information.
That's not my question. After you realized you missed the July 2nd, 2025 hearing, did you contact the court to let them know you missed it and you'd like to reschedule?
I turned in information here to give answers to questions because I cannot. I'm confused on which date's which.
Are you aware in the default judgment that entered against you and your husband that you were to pay some court costs to Colin Township? Were you aware of that?
Your Honor, can I answer that one first?
Well, we'll see whether she can answer it, and then perhaps we'll get the answer from you if we need it.
I know I did see something with that, but being as it was all, there was so many confused things and so many things illegally written and illegally done. And plus it being under Mama's House birth center and not even having something like that existing, it being a ministry, I felt it's all in default.
So it would be accurate to say you understood the court ordered you to pay some costs, you just decided not to pay them. Is that correct?
We paid something, I'm not sure, was it that or what it
You
was?
each paid $1,000 cash bond, which is still being held. And I don't believe anything was paid other than that.
I guess otherwise I'm not aware of something else that wasn't.
You have no recollection of paying either my office or going to Colin Township to pay costs in the amount of $265.48. Is that accurate?
I guess I didn't realize that that's not what the $1,000 is about.
Well, it's not what the $1,000 was about. The $265.48 were taxable costs ordered in the default judgment for you and your husband to pay. That's all I have for Mrs. Yoder, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Yoder, thank you. You've done fine. It's not fun, as I said, being here. Just a minute before you get up and go. Is there anything else you wanted to tell me?
I guess most of what I wanted to tell was wanted to say, I'm kind of blank on it, but I know we turned in forms to give our speech. Made so that Lance has one and you have one.
All right, thank you. You can step down. This would be a good time to take a recess for everybody. We'll take about 10 minutes and we'll be back in a few. Stop the record. I'll be
Yeah, I think this is a good time to take a break for the night too. So, what do you guys think? You guys having fun with this case? We've got it's a weird one, I know. It's a long one. I tried to cut it down a little bit, but yeah, I couldn't get it less than 2 hours though. So we're about a little bit less than halfway point. But I think it's a good time to call it a night. So we will continue this tomorrow, unless something huge happens tomorrow. Then I'll play that instead. But I will continue to play this. So this was part 1. So look forward to part 2. I'll probably play the rest of it all in one. We're about like an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm not gonna cut that in 2 pieces. But yeah, none of your business hasn't gotten bingo yet. You haven't gotten bingo yet. All right. Well, hold on to your bingo card then. Yeah, there's just not a better place to stop because they took that 10-minute recess. They come back. They call a different witness to a stand. So if we go into the next witness, we're gonna be here for another hour. So I think this is a good place to stop. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Another giant shout out to Jedi, Sly, Tharina, and Sparklepooth for filling in for me last night so I could watch my Bengals get destroyed by the Broncos. You know, that's always fun. But you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out. But that's it. That's all I got for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Till next time, bye.
to lunch. All right,
I just paused it and played as if my outro was gonna pop up. It's not gonna pop up because we're halfway through a video. I gotta find my outro. Hold on. Placenta candle. MB placenta candle. And no, not playing that case again.